Okay, my name is Lynne Yoshii. I'm originally from Honolulu, Hawaii, and right now I'm a graphic designer at a toy company. Somewhere around when I was 6 or 7, I probably read my first comic. And by the time it kind of like head over heels fell for this medium, comics were like this is great. This is like a whole world. This is better than picture books, and this is better than movies, and this is better than regular books. And somewhere around like by 7, I decided I wanted to become a comic book artist. This is like the thing for me. The comics that I grew up reading, they're mostly Japanese. I was aware of American comics, but they're mostly like comic strips like Garfield and Peanuts. The Japanese comics were, even though they were kid comics, they had a little bit more of a grandiose storyline. Of them was Doraemon, if you've heard of that one. Dragon Ball, everybody knows Dragon Ball. A whole array of other comics that probably nobody ever heard of, like Touch, Tokimeki Tonight. But the style of drawing that I have, a lot of people like to say it's manga style, but it's true that I did grow up drawing a lot of manga, but I also drew a lot of Disney, and also drew, Jim Lee style X-Men. I would like to say that it's a fusion of all of that stuff and not pigeonhole it as like manga. My family was initially not very supportive of my, comics. They didn't really think it was a viable form of, income or career choice, and it is a hard thing to do. They rather I have like a nice, job with insurance, which I do actually right now. But yes, they were somewhat less enthusiastic about it, but I just went ahead and did it anyway. I mean, I was pretty stubborn. If I weren't drawing, I don't know, maybe I possibly might do charity work of sorts, human rights kind of stuff. It seems, this is just something I've been thinking about recently. It's like, what would I do if I suddenly if my right hand fell off and I couldn't draw anymore? No, this is just more of like a recent development of, like soul searching. Like, what if I can't draw? What would I do with my life? I should do something worthwhile like charity work. The thing that I do want to change or influence with the art that I make is basically I want to portray women as, power figures that, other younger girls would look up to and not feel objectified by it. It's really, it's something simple, but something that I didn't have as a little girl. So that's what I want to feel. And I want to see, like, that's cool, and I don't feel weird looking at it. Because you see some, female comic superhero art, that's awesome, but there's something about it that makes me uneasy. And then as you grow up and you realize, oh, she's being sexually objectified. That's not cool, And I'm doing writing a short 12-page story, a science fiction one, right now, which I hope I could finish this year.
Can you tell me more about it?
Well, it's a little bit inspired by the Aliens movie franchise. So basically, it's just a lone soldier against an alien, which is a very, very short story. It's only 12 pages, so I don't really want, if I tell the whole story, then I give up the ending. So basically, it's alien versus a female soldier.
Sci-fi in particular?
I'm actually more of a fantasy person, This particular story, I love the Aliens franchise, so it was just, like, I want to write this story. And that was it. But I'm actually more of, like, I do like fantasy more, like swords and sorcery and dragons.
Are there
Game
any
of Thrones.
genres or styles that are just not for you?
Certain genres that are not for me. Well, obviously the overly, TNA, like battle manga sometimes kind of, it got tiresome after a while. Those kind of like the overly violent, overly, rapey kind of stuff, it's beautifully drawn, but damn, why do you have to fight naked, girl? Sometime around college, I had repetitive stress injury in my, right arm, my drawing arm. It was pain shooting from my this side of the hand down to my elbow. It got pretty bad after college when I started to draw, full time as a background artist. It got scary. As you can imagine, as an artist, if you can't hold a pencil for more than 10 minutes, that's like really scary. But went to doctors, read up on injury, invested in a Cintiq, and the Cintiq, because you can adjust sensitivities, you don't have to press so hard. It allowed me to heal in a way, ergonomically, and once I was able to do that, I was able to be able to do traditional art again more. So it was kind of like I couldn't do it without it, do it without. I take traditional stuff, bring it into digital, tweak it up. And they're intermarried, both, So I can't do without both of them. I had to make certain choices in life to choose a career in art. And whether that meant, defying parent expectations, or whether it's taking a loan to get art supplies or things like that. I mean, it made me decide that I shouldn't really base my choices on fear. Like, what if I don't become a comic book artist? Like, that's not a good way to think, Oh, you know what? Kitty Pryde had the power to phase through stuff. If I could walk through traffic without being in my car, that would be awesome. I could just
I want that one too.
That was actually pretty cool if you think about it. Flying is also cool too, but you gotta be aware of your surroundings, jets and stuff like that. If you're Kitty Pryde, you could just whatever, and nobody will nothing will harm you. Anything that could tell a good story, I always marvel at. It seems so commonplace, but it's really hard to write a story like A, B, C, beginning, middle, and an ending that works well. And anybody who does that well, it's almost like performing magic. You think about it in any medium, really. I get so overly critical of my own stuff that it kind of gets problematic. I just kind of have to stop that, stop thinking so much. Just get it done. But there's not enough depth here. It's a 12-page story. You can't write depth in a 12-page story. What about her background? Just stop it.